I want to talk to you about my friend Charlie Crawford. He's a 10-time NFR qualifier.
Charlie Crawford, time to just shake it out and win. Got it on him fast. Set
there
up.
We are.
Here's a day
nice
money
run.
lead. You betcha 3-8.
That's an absolute perfect run. Timing was perfect from the time the first swing is up. He's got the control. Charlie made it happen by being timed up with his horse with the steer, and being able to not just rope, but to pick that steer's head up without changing the momentum for the heeler at all.
We know his beautiful wife, Jackie, all three of their beautiful children, the founder of the Liberty and Loyalty Foundation, which this year will exceed $1 million raised for military and first responders. I've said it 1,000 times. Charlie, it's time to rope, nod and ride, whip and spur. I want to welcome you to the Charlie Crawford Podcast. Let's ride.
Getting ready for the summer run. This is a stressful time of year right now, from the beginning of June until the time Reno starts. This is when everybody is trying to get all the practice runs in that they can. They're trying to get that run down where there's not a steer that they don't feel like they can not place on. There's a lot of stress in this month right here. This is when you're trying to make sure your head horses are scoring as good as they can. They're running as hard as they can. They're working good and keeping them shoulders up in the corner, facing with fast feet, and making sure those heel horses are up and around that pocket and giving you that first shot right there where they're not taking the shot away or riding by, or breakaway horses where they're hitting that line and giving you that shot where they're not taking it away from you and stopping where you're popping that rope to try to get yourself in the money. And I've got a couple guys that's been coming out here and getting ready for the summer run, and just watching that stress that they have just in their eyes, and it's hot. It's hot out here, and especially in Texas, and it's been wet, and sometimes you don't get to practice when those situations are that way. You got to find indoor arenas, and then you got to haul cattle, and not only that, now you've got to also get your rigs in order. You got to make sure that the tires are right, the oil's changed, making sure your rig's good enough, as far as your truck, make sure the brakes are good and everything that way is going good. Then you got the trailers. That, man alive, the trailers are almost just as much maintenance as anything, between tires and making sure they're wearing right or need rotated. Bearings are packed, brakes need done, making sure the oil change is good in your generators, making sure that generator ain't gummed up and is going to make it through the summer months, and all those things, making sure you get enough hay, making sure you get enough grain, all your supplements. Then you got to get all your clothes loaded. And as you're trying to practice in this heat and trying to get as many runs in as you can, and I've been watching Jackie go through it too, and this time of year it's hard as well, because you're also still trying to hit a few rodeos throughout this whole process to make sure you're sharp. That's your tests to see where you're at, so you can come back home and work on it, grind on it, hoping that the weather's good enough where you can rope outside, making sure that your calves are good, your steers are good, where they're realistic. And I just remember the stress, of all that. And for the guys that never seen it before, that's never seen that behind the curtains look at what rodeo cowboys go through. For a single cat, it's not too bad. It's a fun ride and fun. And, if you don't make it, come back home. But man, for you watch those guys out there that are stressing, that they got wife and kids, and this is how they eat, because out there, you only get to eat what you kill. You're a hunter out there. Those guys are making sure that if they don't win nothing, they don't eat. So they're doing everything they can to make sure that they're getting the runs that they can to get the money and the breakaway side as well. And it's a lot of stress, and that's not even counting, then what happens if your horse gets hurt at the last minute. So you got to make sure you got enough horses and keeping them all working, and, your vet bills, and you got so much stress between vet bills and entry fees and gas money and truck payments, insurance, trailer payments. You get enough shavings in your rig, and it's a lot of moving parts. So when a guy does see these guys make it at the NFR, man, it's a lot of respect. A lot of respect those guys get from that. And not only that too is, man, getting entered up right. Entering's a tough one. You might be able to, there might be 10 really good rodeos that week, but if you don't get up good, you may only get to go to 3. So then you got turnout fines, and then you got to get traded. And sometimes almost roping after a while is almost the easy part. But I remember this time of year when these guys are trying to get ready for this. They got probably 2 weeks left before it's Reno time, and man, it's a lot of pressure, and it's almost the easiest part is almost just getting in that rig and heading to Reno. Because once you get in that rig and you're headed to the rodeo and headed out for the summer run, it is what it is. You're either ready or you're not. And you're hoping that you put everything into this earlier month to be ready as you can. Because once it starts now, come Reno time, man, it is all in from the middle of June till September 31st. And you're going to as many rodeos in those 2.5, 3 months as you've gone to all year. I remember a few years where I think the month of July might have been 3 days where I didn't go to a rodeo, and maybe August there was 5 or 6 days you didn't go to a rodeo, and some of those days were 2-a-days. And it slows down a little bit in September, but then as it slows down, the rodeos can sometimes get further apart. But it's a heck of a life. But it's just so everyone kind of knows what these guys are going through right now this time of year. It's tough, and man, for you guys out there grinding and giving it all you got out there, and girls, man, I wish you guys and gals the best of luck out there. Pray y'all stay safe, and I hope y'all end up with the little 10-header at the end of the year in Vegas. God bless y'all.